beautiful borough of Brooklyn, USA, here in New York City. I'm Brian Custer, host of Showtime Championship Boxing. It is Fight Week, and we welcome you to the official press conference for Garcia versus Redkach. Saturday, January 25th at the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn. The event is brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions, and it's promoted by TGB Promotions, led by Tom Brown, and DSG Promotions, which is led by Danny Garcia. We want to acknowledge the Barclays Center. This will be the 37th boxing event that has taken place at that venue. It is the premier East Coast venue for world-class boxing. In fact, boxing first started there in October of 2012 when that venue opened. And Danny, I don't know if you remember this. In October 2012, Danny Garcia was the headliner. In fact, you were there fighting your title rematch against Eric Morales. It was also Danny Garcia's debut on Showtime Championship Boxing. Since then, this young man has made 8 appearances on Showtime, if you include CBS as well. In fact, no one has headlined more at the Barclays Center than Danny Garcia.
Yep.
We certainly have a vested interest in headlining and putting on events at Barclays Center. It will be the 21st time that Showtime has put on a boxing event there, 23 when you count the 2 that we also did on CBS. And I want to give a special thanks and shout out to the Barclays Center, especially their team. Keith Sheldon, he's their Executive Vice President of BSE Global, and their Senior Boxing Advisor, saw him in the back, Anthony Catazero. Where is he at? He's here as well. Thank you for all you guys do and being a friend of boxing and Brooklyn boxing as well. Tickets, they're on sale. You can get some, Ticketmaster.com. Also, you can get some at BarclaysCenter.com and the American Express box office, which is located right there inside Barclays Center. Showtime Championship Boxing is going to bring you a triple header of fights coming January 25th. Garcia, Redkach is live on Showtime. The televised bouts begin at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 6 o'clock Pacific time. We also want to remind you that Showtime Championship Boxing Countdown, it's a 3-fight card of the undercard fights. We're going to stream those live on the Showtime Sports YouTube channel and the Showtime Boxing Facebook page. That comes your way live at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 o'clock Pacific time. Every fight card has to have some intrigue, and this one hasn't. Because we're going to begin tonight with a couple of unbeaten fighters at 122 pounds. Neither one has tasted defeat. You don't want to miss the opening fight. The co-main, the night is a couple of Swifts on the card, because the co-main features the former unified champ and Jarrett Swift Hurd making his first fight since losing his titles. And then the main event, he calls it the Danny Garcia Show. And it's Danny Garcia versus Ivan Redkach, who's a big puncher. That's the intrigue. The guy who helped put all of this together is a great boxing mind. He's also the president of sports and event programming for Showtime Networks. Steven Espinoza couldn't be here, but we got the next best thing. We've got the guy who runs Showtime, really runs Showtime, the one and only Chris de Blasio.
So it's the short straw. You guys drew the short straw today. Sorry, our great boxing mind, Steven, couldn't be here. He sends his regrets for that, but he will be tomorrow at the weigh-in and, of course, Saturday night, where we're all looking forward to. I want to say thank you to Brian for hosting today. I want to thank Tom Brown and TGB Promotions for helping us orchestrate the event. Keith Sheldon, Anthony Catanzaro from the Barclays Center, and of course Tim Smith, the Watson family, everybody at Heyman Boxing and PBC for these spectacular events we're putting on month after month. Showtime is in the midst of an excellent run. 8 live boxing shows across just 10 weeks. We're featuring many of the biggest names in the sport in that time. It began with Gervonta Davis, Badu Jack, and Jean Pascal on December 28th. It includes Gary Russell Jr. and Guillermo Rigondeaux coming up. And of course, 2 men seated up here today. This run also includes a bevy of young prospects and contenders, Jaron Ennis among them, Shojahan Ergashev, remember that name, and Ruben Villa, many others on our Showbox series across this particular run that runs through February 28th. On Saturday night in particular, we have a great mix of bouts. There's 3 young prospects, as Brian mentioned, who are going to be featured on our Countdown show live on Facebook and YouTube. That's globally. And that's before the Showtime telecast begins. At 9 o'clock, we've got 3 high-stakes bouts between the 6 men that are up here today. For different reasons, each of these fights and each man here is in a must-win type of fight on Saturday. Stephen Fulton and Arnold Pagai, for them, this is more than a chance to shine on national TV and under the bright lights at one of the premier boxing arenas in the country. This is a chance to earn a right to fight for a world title in their next fight. For Danny and for Jarrett, these are 2 men in the top 5 of their respective divisions. These are easily the 2 deepest divisions in boxing. These guys have taken on the biggest and toughest challenges in their careers, and win, lose, or draw in those fights, they have earned the right to be among the elite. But they need strong performances on Saturday night to maintain their status and to have a shot to regain the world titles that they covet. Across the ring in both fights, these men to my left, Ivan and Francesco, you guys have the chance to break into the ranks to the elite on Saturday. And win, lose, or draw for you, even with a strong performance against these former world champions, you can stay in the hunt for a challenge at a world title. If not, break into the top 5 with a great performance. Make no mistake, high stakes, intriguing fights up and down the entire card. We're looking forward to a great night on Saturday night, and I appreciate your time. Right?
Chris, thank you. Very well done. And runs that network. Shout out to my man Sam Watson, Heyman Boxing there. I thought that was Al Heyman himself. Good to see him. Let's hear from the fighters. That's why you came here. We begin tonight, 2 unbeaten fighters going to start and set the table Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time on Showtime Championship Boxing. And come to the podium as a